All right, so just have a little bit of feedback using the star idea. I'll just scan through the stanzas and tell you what I was thinking.
Sure.
Okay, so in stanza 1, you were trying to get to, in your ode to dark roast, you were trying to get to the flavor. You said, deep, sultry, steamy, you are a slow paddle down hidden turns on the Nile, the Amazon, the Côte d'Azur.
It's the coast of Java.
The coast of Java. All right, coast of Java.
Nice penmanship.
Yeah, coast of Java, which makes sense. I really like the paddling metaphor, and I was wondering, and this is just a wondering, if there's a way you could extend it by kind of adding in a piece of paddling terminology or landscape terminology to talk, instead of just hidden turns. Is there a word that in the paddling world you could use to describe open paths? And you just do some research in a paddling dictionary or something about that. So it's just a diction thing.
Okay.
It's an idea, and I didn't know if they were hidden. I was wondering, was the hidden turns intentional because the coffee kind of sets up a moment of not knowing what's yet to come in your day, that kind of idea?
Well, just sometimes when you try a coffee, you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
So, like you read the package and it's like, it has notes of, blackberries and, cocoa and whatever, and then you taste it and it's like, yeah, that stuff is there, but it comes off differently to your tongue than the package suggests.
Yeah. So maybe like a yet undiscovered or something to hint at that, the possibility that could come at those turns might be an option. So yeah, like a more of a possibility word. I don't know what that is yet, but yeah, okay. And then you move into cocoa, nutmeg, caramel, burnt sugar, smoky, sweetgrass incense, pulled over my senses. So it's all still about flavor in the first stanza. So I was wondering about the phrase "pulled over my senses," and just I was wondering if you had thought about using like an ing form of the verb, like an awakening or a coating the tongue, something more.
Yeah, I think the order of this goofed up here because when I was thinking this pulled over my senses, that's an association I have with sweetgrass. When I went, it's a long time ago, but I participated in a sweetgrass ceremony, which comes in a Mi'kmaq culture.
Yeah. And
it's sort of there's they have this fragrant grass and they burn it, and then you pull the smoke over yourself as sort of a symbol, like a symbolic.
So it only works
awakening.
for the sweetgrass image. So
yeah, so I think that, and then but the smell, like the imagery of incense, and in particular, this reminds me of like sandalwood.
Yeah.
So they're both kind of like thick and sweet.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is that I've kind of divided the. Yeah. So maybe
you need a verb here, like a coating my tongue and then pulling over my senses, like a little more balance there.
Right.
Because there's two different sensory experiences. One's right on the tongue with the caramel, the nutmeg, the cocoa, and the other two are more active or more that image you're trying to get.
Well, maybe that needs to. No, it's there. I don't have an aroma stanza, so I guess it has to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then you move into. I didn't say too much about your second stanza about comfort. You said. You walk me into new days with assurance and familiarity. You're the north star in the morning, setting the tone and path of my workday, soothing me into a weekend's rest and the sports center and breakfast. The only thought I had about that is, just looking at the stanzas in order. Perhaps that one, I kind of might like to have the personality of the coffee first to follow up with the flavor.
Right.
With that and with more of kind of the first three stanzas being descriptions, so you would have flavor, comfort, and classic beauty, and then personality, or vice versa. So you might want to just think about how you reveal these different aspects in terms of rearranging. And then you move into the personality stanza, and I just had one substitution I was wondering about. So you wrote, you are bold and unique, subtle yet sassy. Sometimes you are smart and understated, others bright and unapologetic. You are varied, spicy.
This is smooth.
Sometimes you are smooth and understated, others bright and unapologetic. You are varied, spicy, unpredictable. And my only comma was, you've got this nice balance of this and that and this and that, and then the last stanza you have this, this, and this. Like you have a different structure.
Right.
The word spicy of all of them is the least classic personality trait word. It is kind of. Right. So maybe you could either take that out and maintain that balance of this and that, which is a really nice rhythm to it, and that poetic quality. and or replace spicy if you want that line to stand out. Adding in 3 descriptors does make it, a little different from the ones before.
Right.
But I like it having these classic personality traits that you might see in a character trait list or something. And spicy is just the only one that's a little, yeah.
So the rest of them are like more about a person.
More about a person.
So more about a physical sensation.
That's right. Yeah. So it's.
So a word that talks about sort of a spicy personality.
We would use it, but it's metaphorical.
Right.
More than, I think, yeah.
Something that's more apropos to talk about the nature of a person. As opposed to, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, just an idea. And then the last stanza, you say, you are classy and original. You need no syrups or foams to mark your true beauty. To mask your true beauty.
I was trying to play with the idea of, like, some coffee has to wear makeup to be presentable.
Yeah.
Like, your caramel, something macchiato.
Yeah.
And then what I was trying to say is dark roast coffee doesn't need that stuff. It's great on its own. And
I knew that was kind of what you wanted to bring into focus. So I had, as a substitution possibility, I had underlined classy and original. And I had sort of had 2 ideas.
Right.
I thought, okay, could you consider how you could bring focus to the kind of the purity of just the coffee? So classy and original. Classy does it, but original, like there's another quality there I think you're trying to get to about just simplicity or like natural. You are not tampered with, I don't know what it is, but something like that. And one way you could play with that is metaphor. You could, is it like a classic person or another classic food?
Like one in a million is like too cheesy a cliche, but something that speaks to that.
Yeah, just these are very, like they tell us that they are classy original. Could you show us?
I was even thinking this word classy is kind of like, I was thinking, I wondered about that, whether a word like timeless might be. Yeah,
timeless, but again, I'm wondering, is it that you're trying to bring in the focus to just on its own, something that just on its own has its own, with no fancy stuff, so.
Right.
And then, just the stanzas, I was wondering, how it might change the poem a bit if you started with the personality. So introduce, this is who I'm owning. Right. This is the dark roast. This is how I feel about it. This is what it provides me, the comfort. And then a tribute at the end. I do like the classic beauty at the end because that's kind of got that ode feeling of like, you are one not to be rivaled with, that idea.
Right.
Thanks. Great.
So I guess I did this for like in the margin here. Obviously, this is the poem that I'm going to spiff up. I can't write that there.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about whether or not like those make sense to you as sort of the guiding principle of that.
No, absolutely. That's why.
Like if they weren't there, would that occur to you?
Yeah, I think the only one is this classic beauty.
Right.
That's the only one where that I would have thought these was telling me more about simplicity and purity and just.
So here, like if we're thinking about a metaphor or trying to capture the idea of somebody or someone that is like kind of exemplifies this timeless. Like, is there an actress or an actor or a personality? I thought
Marilyn Monroe, and then I questioned that. You were the Marilyn Monroe? Like, she's kind of the original blonde bombshell, but that has a whole other connotation to it.
Right.
That came to mind. Like a Clark Gable, like the classic
Audrey Hepburn.
Auburn Hepburn, that kind of Breakfast with Tiffany's. Very ungarnished, not very simple.
Right, it is what
classic
it is.
What it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, but it's memorable and awesome.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you like the poem? Are you happy with it? Like, are you excited about it, or?
Well, I mean, I'm a dark roast nut, so I mean, it's fun to write about it.
Yeah.
And then trying to sort out a way, trying to balance things like, in places I'm using metaphor, and then you've got imagery, but whether or not that imagery makes sense. And like, it's funny how like we talk about making connections, like this line here, the sweet grass, and the sort of the awakening, like the connection to coming alive or coming awake. Like it's mixed in with a whole bunch of other imagery there, so trying a way to sort that stuff out.
To make that one pop a little bit.
Yeah, but it's good to talk about it because like you're like sometimes it like you said a couple of things that I was wondering about before I handed it to you, so it was good. Yeah. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.